Greetings everybody and welcome to the Champions of the Future 2023. The Euro Series continues here at the fabulous Steel Ring in the Czech Republic. The first time we've ever been to this brand new facility. It's only been in operation since 2017 and what a warm welcome we have had from our friends here in the Czech Republic. It has been a fabulous week so far. Today is actually the first day of the weekend as we have moved everything forward a day for various different reasons which we will go into over the course of the day. But a fabulous opportunity to watch the OK and OK Junior drivers battle for supremacy. The weather has been very interesting over the course of the week. It started with wet conditions on the Wednesday. It dried up over the last few, but it looks as though the rain is on its way back today. I'm Jake Sanson. Beside me is Anthony Jordan, and we are going to have a fabulous day at the races here.
Didn't go well. Now we're coming into round two. I prefer the circuit. It's a little bit more technical, and now I can start gaining championship points. And again, that makes it interesting for a lot of these drivers, doesn't it?
Certainly does. And the difficulty we're going to have in this superheat is, as we mentioned before, with drivers thinking it would be raining by now, so they had wet tyres to play with. They're not going to need them just yet because it's bone dry. So who will have grip? Who will not? Let's find out. Well, we're going to have to wait another lap because it is a false start the first time of asking. But yeah, it's interesting. A couple of drivers appear to have saved their dry tyres for later.
But many points across the day. It was 50 points for a race win yesterday. Each of these drivers have had 5 race heats so far, so the points they've accumulated has been quite a lot. But this time around, we'll see who's going to get the 75.
Well, Romeo Haga's not started the race, so there's now just 35 competing for this one. Here we go. Great start from Dries van Langendonk, and straight into second goes Alfie Slater. A perfect start for the odd side of the grid. The even side a little bit sluggish, but as they work their way through the hairpins for the first time, it is going to be a very solid run from Dries van Langendonk as he holds the field to ransom. Down the hill, Noah Wolf getting in on the inside line to try and take on Jindra Peschel. A fabulous run as Peschel is going to have to just wait his moment. They work their way through the hairpins again, and there is Peschel trying to work up a little bit more, but he's obviously lost quite a few places on the opening tour, being on the wrong side of the starting grid in the number 31. He was on the front row. He's now down to about 8th or 9th position minimum, as another squeeze there up through the hairpins. A couple of the Paralins getting a little bit crossfired, but what a start from Dries van Langendonk, who leads from Alfie Slater and the hard-charging Elliot Kaczynski.
Yeah, indeed. Fantastic start as they go back across the start-finish line now. They will come across the order as Van Langendonk, Slater, Kaczynski, Bondarev. Wolf is up into 5th place now from Tiziano Monza. Filippo Sala, bad start from him. He's dropped down into P7 from Krutulov up into P8. Peschel is there in 9th place. He's tumbled down the order, the young Czech driver. He's going to really have to shake it up here. Sun Xiaoyu, though, 5 positions gained. He's up into the top 10. Race director Martin Bean watching the race proceedings as we go on. All the drivers, though, relatively decent start. Some drivers struggling, though.
Yeah, cracking start from Bondarev. They said they tried something in the last heat of the day yesterday. It certainly worked out, didn't it? Because he's now trying to replicate his 3rd position from what he set yesterday. And is that him past Kaczynski? It is. So Bondarev has now got himself into 3rd position on the Kart Republic, now trying to chase down Van Langendonk and Slater.
Yeah, indeed. So big shake-ups in this order here. Back across the start-finish line once again and keeping an eye on that gap. 0.3 of a second between Van Langendonk and Slater. I think Slater's got some pace here because he went purple in Sector 3. Granted, on that last lap, Van Langendonk did have the fastest lap of the race, 54.120. The air temperature a little bit cooler than what they had yesterday here. And, of course, that threat is in the sky of potential precipitation, so keep an eye as the race goes on and the day goes on. But so far, Dries van Langendonk doing a sterling job here. Action a little further back on your screen. That looks like one of the IPKs in a KI. I think it's Jindra Peschel who's now trying to fight his way back. He's battling with David Kozma. That's all the way down in P10.
Yeah, it is going to be a tough one, this, because this is the longest race of the weekend so far for OK Junior. And those clouds are getting darker and darker all the time. It could happen at any time. I was being told earlier by Martin Bean that it's actually the mountain range you want to look at because it's coming from the other side of Trinec, the rain clouds, so it could hit here before it hits the main town. So that's going to be an interesting one in terms of when the rain comes. We're just waiting for it, essentially. So Van Langendonk in front of Slater, Bondarev, Kaczynski, Wolf, Sala, Krutulov, then Peschel, Monza, David Kozma and Sun Xiaoyu in front of Koshe, Kraling and Kansani. Van Langendonk opens it up with a 54.0 at the end of lap 3. That's really the first lap that you start to get the fast laps come in. So Alfie Slater just settling himself into a rhythm in second. Bondarev having worked his way to third. in front of the Swede, Elliot Kaczynski. And now it's about when drivers are ready to go for an overtaking move. That's a big lunge on the inside from Monza, getting through on Peschel, I think. So a good run there from the Paralin as he made his opportunity. He dived, he took it, and he has managed to cement it.
Yeah, he has indeed. So nice little position gain there in that sort of mid-pack area, back across the line once again. And you're starting to see gaps starting to form here now as drivers close in. I mean, Slater's not been able to keep up with the pace of Van Langendonk. That gap's opened up just a little bit now. 0.6 of a second. It's still very close between the two of them. But again, the consistency that we've seen across this weekend from Dries Van Langendonk has been unparalleled to anyone else. I mean, he has just been planting that car on every apex and just driving away. Meanwhile, it's still kicking off in the background here as Peschel's still fighting off David Kozma here, and I think he's battling away with the driver just in front of him as well. Krutelov, I think he's a little further up the road. But, yeah, it's getting very interesting down here as well. This is the battle further down as well. This is Kraling, Sun Zhao Yu, and Louis Cochet, who are battling for P11 at the moment. But still, eyes on that front five. And everyone right now, I think, is just in, let's just get to the end of this race.
There's definitely been a shift in momentum now. Bondarev has started to close back up on Alfie Slater, and the Kart Republic star is looking for his first opportunity to get past the young Englishman. So this is going to be a tough run, and that goes Kian Fardin. Kian Fardin making his bid on Zhao Yushun. So he gets through. So that's Kian Fardin, the Swiss driver, making up an overtake. And as they work through, there's a bit of badinage further back as we have the Ricky Flynn of Roman Kamyab going wheel to wheel with Andy Consani. Oh, and a little bit of a nudge there in the back. You saw one of the Koskis just losing out, and it was Consani that ended up getting a little bit of a tag there. That looks like Oliver Kinmark making his move. But as you can see, it's getting a little bit feisty in the middle of the pack as every driver knows that in 7 laps' time, one of these guys, or several of these guys, are going to be out of the race weekend.
Exactly, and there's a lot of pressure to put on such a young driver, of course, across this weekend. The pressure of
Bondarev's in front. Bondarev's got through past Slater.
He has, so the change for seconds come off camera. So now that's really heating up that battle for second place. And of course, keep an eye. Van Langendonk's going to just drive off here now. If these guys start scrapping away, keep an eye on it. Kaczynski is going to try to go for the middle. Slater back down the inside of Bondarev. But Bondarev fights back.
Lovely.
Nice little switch around there, but it looked like Slater nearly kissed the barriers there on the exit of the corner. You've got to be so careful as they go back down compression. The battle for second place rages on. 4 of them absolutely line astern here. This is brilliant.
Bondarev's so smart there. He took 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward. Very nicely done there as he let Slater go. But then Kaczynski and Noah Wolf are now all over the back of the Brit as Bondarev has pulled a fast one on Alfie Slater. A good overtaking move and then a great defensive tactic to let him go and get back past him. He went slow in, fast out, and he's actually got the upper hand as a result. So now Slater having to go a little bit cautious, get back on the offense whilst also being on the defense. He seems to have taken on the latter with a lot of aplomb. So now he's going to try and get back on terms with Bondarev again. He's got to be careful. Kaczynski will be diving through. Actually had a proper walk around this circuit, did 3 laps of the course this morning, and you really do see how interesting the overtaking positions are around here. It's not just a straight 180-degree angle for the first hairpin that they just went through. It's actually quite inviting. It opens it out. It tightens on the exit of the apex. Same here as well. It tightens on the edge of the radius. So from a driver's point of view, it invites you to go for the overtaking move. So that's why we've seen quite a few attempts, some successful, some not, on those particular corners.
Yeah, indeed. It is a fabulous circuit here. It's really shaken up the field, which is brilliant to see. And I suspect for the viewers at home, it's given a new dynamic as well to what the drivers actually are capable of. Yes, if we continue going to these wide open fast circuits, you're going to see your standards up at the top who can deal with that. But when you come to the tight and twisties, the narrows, the technical circuits, this is where you really see the talent shine through. We're seeing that, and Wolf down the inside at the hairpin gets past Kaczynski. Kaczynski not able to retaliate here. He might be able to get something on the exit here. He looks to the inside. No. Thinks against it. Slots back into P5. Wolf into P4. And that's a cut that stopped. It looks like a Koski.
It is.
It's the 18.
Yes.
I think it's Guy... No, it's a Forza. It's Guy Albag.
Yeah, Guy Albag has unfortunately retired from the race there. Very disappointing indeed. And we've got a warning flag, as you mentioned, for Vivek Kanthan, the Paralin driver from the United States, as Guy Albag, the Israeli, walks away from the scene. Very unfortunate indeed for Guy Albag. Oh, wait a minute.
Is it Guy Albag?
No, it's not. That's Van Langendonk.
Oh,
that is Dries Van Langendonk. the race leader.
Oh my
Dries van
goodness.
Langendonk has gone from the race. Mechanical problems by the look of it. Bondarev has taken the lead. Dries van Langendonk, the man who has had a perfect weekend. I cannot believe it. Dries van Langendonk is out of this race. It wasn't the 18, it was the 78. I cannot believe it. Dries van Langendonk, who has dominated all 5 qualifying heats and the time qualifying session, is out of this race. And suddenly, Oleksandr Bondarev is leading from Slater, Wolf and Kaczynski. I cannot believe it.
Well, it's definitely drama after a brilliant weekend, but I think he'll be okay. I think he's got enough points here to get through. And there's a replay looking into the corner. Look at the top of your screen now through the hairpin. And
Yeah, it's
it
just gone.
conks out.
It's just gone.
It just stops.
I cannot believe it. Dries van Langendonk, the race leader every single time, has now dropped. I cannot believe it. What a disaster.
But that means now that the battle you're watching on your screen is the battle for first place here. Remember, 75 points up for grabs. And Slater here is smelling potentially a victory here as he's closed that gap straight back up. We're on lap 10 of 13. Time is very quickly running out. If we're going to see the move, it's going to be coming very, very soon. Keep an eye on Wolf as well. It's very easy to get 2 positions in one corner around this track. Are we going to see a move from him? And the same as Kaczynski here in P4. He's in a perfect spot as well. One of these 4 could win this race, but who is it going to be as they exit out of the final couple of corners back onto the start-finish straight? We go onto the start-finish straight now, and the timer is very quickly running out.
Isn't it astonishing how the race can change in one fell swoop? I've just been looking at Dries van Langendonk on Marshall Post 4. He looks shell-shocked. He cannot believe what's happening here, as Bondarev has now got pressure from Alfie Slater again. Here comes Slater. He knows now he's not battling for second anymore. He's battling for the win. Watch as he tries to make his bid. Bondarev keeps the cart wide through the first part of the radius. He'll have to do it again here. Slater has a think about it. Too far back. It was nice. It was ambitious. But now he's going to have Noah Wolf all over him.
Yeah, indeed. Noah Wolf is going to take full opportunity of this one. Thinks against it going into this hairpin. Could go for it here. No, again, thinks against it. Stays behind. They go back up. They wind it back up now as they go up the crest over here. Bring it back off the throttle here because it runs out wide, and then you go down into this very tight, twisty section of toboggan. And again, keep an eye on Wolf. Much tighter entry into the penultimate corner, back onto the start-finish straight. Could have a run here, potentially even into the first hairpin at the top of this hill. Down they go then, through the carousel, up the hill. And again, keep an eye on the braking zone here for Wolf. Is he close enough? No, he's not. Can't get it down the inside, but I reckon he's going to go for the lunge into the hairpin. If he doesn't, I'll be very surprised on this final lap.
Last lap, and it is going to be a tough one for Slater to hold on to. Wolf is going to try his best. He isn't close enough, so he has to keep on trying to outfox Alfie Slater in the hope that he's going to intimidate him into an error, but I don't see it happening with this amount of time left in the race. Oleksandr Bondarev has picked his moments, worked his way forward in exactly the right moment. He got Kaczynski at exactly the right time. He got Slater at exactly the right time, defended against him at exactly the right time, and when van Langendonk bit the dust, it's now Bondarev who's going to inherit it, and not only that, but a 75-point score as well. We've got a slow-moving Forza. That is Guy Albag having problems.
Yep.
But across the line, Bondarev is going to take the superheat. Oleksandr Bondarev wins from Alfie Slater, Noah Wolf and Elliot Kaczynski. This race weekend just went nuclear in junior.
It really did. I mean, what on earth can you say there for poor Dries van Langendonk, who dominated this weekend, and to come away with a mechanical failure, absolutely devastating for the young Belgian, the favourite going into today's racing. But it just shows that anything can happen in motorsport, good and bad. And the good side of that is that Bondarev has put it on P1 in this one. 10th in the championship so far. He adds to his intermediate classification points so far this weekend, with 75 points being added to his name. Slater, though, will lead the points with that second place finish of 283 points standings, but one more OK Junior Superheat to go. That'll be at 10:30 local time. A look at the provisional classification. Langendonk and Romeo Hay, a non-starter. Romeo Hay, Langendonk with that breakdown. The start, textbook again from Langendonk, who just drove away from the field. He had the company in the early stages, though. The Ricky Flynn motorsport driver of Alfie Slater, hot on his heels. There we saw the moves coming in thick and fast. Filippo Sala getting it up into the orders a little further down in the field. You saw there one of the energy cores of Lev Krutilov trying to fight back, and unfortunately as well, Indrij Peschel, who was doing so well yesterday, started this one on the front row. 3 wins yesterday. He dropped down the order quite considerably in this one as Bondarev started to make his way through the field. There was the moves further back from Kian Farden as well. So the overtakes came thick and fast all the way throughout. And again, everyone just trying to find that piece of track and doing their very best to try and gain as much points as possible. That was the pinch point moment there, where there was a unfortunate bit of contact for one of the Paralins. I believe Vivek Kanthan involved in that. But across the line, Bondarev would take the win after a dramatic breakdown for your man who was leading the weekend, Durizan Langendonk. Well, a dramatic start to the day as the carts get recovered from the circuit. We're down with, in the pit lane though, we're with our race winner, Oleksandr Bondarev, in the number 63 Kart Republic kart. Jake Sanson, over to you.
What a dramatic turnaround that race has given us, and here is our winner, Oleksandr Bondarev. Alex, I mean, obviously you're trying to battle away for position and grab a victory, but what a stroke of luck from your side, I guess.
Yeah, like when I was in the top 3 behind Alfie, I thought that the maximum place that I could get was P2 because Dries was just full flying away out front. But then I think he got an engine failure, but I'm not sure. But then I go into the lead, and then I just try to I was just trying to get a nice gap so I can keep P1, and yeah, it was a good race also.
I mean, obviously this now changes everything because he only picked up 2 points from that race. You had 75, so this brings you and quite a few other drivers right back into contention, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good chance for me, especially with it probably changing conditions for the final, and we'll see what we can do there.
Obviously, having had a little bit of running in the wet earlier in the week, how confident are you guys that if it comes and if it's as heavy as it's predicted it's going to be, you guys can be competitive?
I feel like we can be really competitive in the wet because in the practice on Wednesday we were really fast, so I feel like we have a good chance for the final.
Fantastic. Well, Oleksandr, congratulations. Great win in the Superheat. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
How about that to change things around? I mean, if the rain is going to be as heavy as we think it's going to be earlier on in the weekend, it was predicted, all of a sudden, this OK Junior final later on today has become must-see motorsport, and it's going to be anybody's to win.
It really could be. Thank you very much, Jake. Yes, back to the track action and the OK category.